The sun shines brightly, casting a warm glow over a pristine, white school. A young black boy around 8 years old walks toward the gates of an elite all-white school. His small steps are full of hope and excitement as he holds his school bag tightly, his uniform crisp and neat. In his innocent mind, this is the beginning of his future, a world of opportunities, of new friends, and of endless possibilities. But as he gets closer to the entrance, his excitement begins to fade. The school gates loom larger, and an unfamiliar feeling of unease settles in his chest. He's never felt this way before. Something is off. The moment he reaches the gates, a tall white security guard steps forward, blocking his way. His face is stern and unbothered, as though this is just another day for him. He looks down at the boy and speaks in a cold, indifferent voice. "This school is for white children only." The boy freezes, his little heart dropping into his stomach. His innocent mind races, trying to comprehend what he just heard. Why? Why can't he go to this school? The boy glances nervously at his mother, who stands beside him. She's always been his protector, his guide through every challenge. But now she too seems unsure. The boy looks up at his mother. Her face is filled with hope, trying to reassure him with a small smile. But the guard's words hit like a brick wall, and that smile begins to fade. The mother steps forward, her protective instincts kicking in. She addresses the security guard, her voice steady but firm. "Why are you stopping him? He has a right to be here just like anyone else." But the security guard, unmoved, repeats his words with a chilling finality. No exceptions. The boy's eyes widen as the realization hits him. He's not welcome here. He doesn't understand why, but the hurt is real. Why is he being told he can't be part of something? He feels small, powerless, and confused, as though the world has suddenly turned against him. The camera zooms in on his face, showing the pain in his eyes, an innocent child who just wants to learn. But there's a deeper emotion, something that can't be spoken, a deep feeling of betrayal, injustice. Cut to his mother. She's watching this unfold, her own heart breaking. Her expression shifts from shock to anger, and for a brief moment you can see her hesitation. But then a fire ignites in her eyes, a mother's resolve. She doesn't back down. Her voice is now strong, filled with determination. "You can't stop him. He has a right to an education, and I'll make sure he gets it." This moment is the first spark of a movement that will challenge the very system that has tried to hold them back. Justice has been denied, but this injustice will fuel a bold, transformative journey. The mother is ready to fight, and she won't stop until her son's future is secured. She doesn't back down. Her voice is now strong, filled with determination. "You can't stop him. He has a right to an education, and I'll make sure he gets it." This moment is the first spark of a movement that will challenge the very system that has tried to hold them back. Justice has been denied, but this injustice will fuel a bold, transformative journey. The mother is ready to fight, and she won't stop until her son's future is secured. As the gates of the school close behind them, the mother and son walk away, her hand firmly holding his. The boy's face is still a mix of confusion and hurt, and every step they take feels heavy. The world around them is still bright, but it feels different now. Dark clouds of injustice seem to follow them. Inside, the mother is boiling with rage, her heart pounding in her chest. She's trying to remain calm for her son, but the fury inside her is almost unbearable. This is no longer just about a school, it's about something far deeper. The very system they are trying to break into is rigged against them. John. At home, the mother sits down with her husband, or another trusted family member, her eyes burning with a determination that he's never seen before. She slams her fist on the table, the weight of what happened weighing on her. This isn't just about the school. This is a part of a much bigger problem, a system designed to keep us out, to make sure we stay in our place. I won't accept it. I can't. Her voice trembles, not with fear, but with the strength of her anger and resolve. We have to fight back. It's not just for him. It's for every black child who has been told no their entire life. The husband looks at her, unsure at first, but then he sees the fire in her eyes. She's already made up her mind. "What do?" he asks. "We fight. We take this to the streets, to the courts, wherever it takes." Scene. The next morning, the mother begins reaching out to other black parents in the community. She speaks to those who have faced similar discrimination, parents whose children have been denied entry to schools for reasons as unjust as the one her son faced. As the days go on, her phone rings constantly. Messages of support and shared frustration pour in. They are not alone. They meet in small groups discussing their options, protests, petitions, legal action. Everyone agrees they have to make their voices heard, and it has to be loud. The mother takes charge, organizing peaceful protests, gathering local leaders to raise awareness of what's happening. She's not just fighting for her son anymore. This is bigger than her family. This is about fighting for equality, justice, and access to education for all black children. But every time they approach the school administration, they are met with cold indifference. The school board and principal refuse to even consider the possibility of black children being allowed in. Their responses are always the same. "It's our policy. We can't change it." The mother's frustration grows by the day. She attends meeting after meeting, fighting tooth and nail, but every answer they get is the same: no. She storms out of yet another meeting, fists clenched in anger, her mind racing with thoughts of how to make them listen. The entire battle feels like an uphill climb, but she refuses to back down. The tension is thick, palpable. Her mission has become personal now. It's no longer just about her son or even her community. This is a battle for dignity, for the right to stand shoulder to shoulder with others, for a chance to make her son's future a reality. Every protest, every meeting, every phone call is another step in a growing fight that's about to explode in ways no one expected. Her anger fuels her, and her determination drives her forward. The battle is just beginning, and the mother won't stop until there's justice for her son, for all the children who have been denied the chance to learn, to grow, and to dream. After months of legal battles, protests, and repeated rejections, the mother has reached her breaking point. She's tired of waiting for change to come from the top. It's time to take matters into her own hands. This is no longer about making polite requests or following the rules. She's ready to fight back in a way that no one can ignore. The plan is simple but bold. She will bring her son to the school every single day, no matter what. She will not let them ignore her child or the community any longer. The fight will be visible. It will be undeniable. On the first day, the mother and other parents arrive at the school gates, walking with their children in hand, each of them carrying the weight of years of oppression and denial. The small crowd is quickly joined by others as word spreads about what's happening. A powerful energy fills the air. This is the beginning of something bigger than any of them. At first, the school is caught off guard, but soon they realize that this is not a protest that will fade away. The mother and the other parents stand firm, resolute, and unwilling to back down. The children hold their heads high, their voices full of hope and anger. But the school, not prepared for this, quickly calls in security. The sight of uniformed officers approaching only increases the tension in the air. The officers arrive, followed by the sound of radios and stern orders. The mother's heart races as she watches them approach her son. They demand the children leave, but no one moves. The officers' commands fall on deaf ears. A few moments later, the police arrive, and the situation turns even more intense. Officers step forward, commanding the children to disperse. The scene is charged with tension, but amidst the confusion, something incredible happens. The cameras arrive. News outlets, local and national, have been tipped off, and within minutes, the scene is being broadcast live. The mother knows this is the moment she's been waiting for. The cameras are rolling. The world is watching. With her head held high, she steps forward, her voice firm and unwavering as she faces the crowd and the cameras. She looks into the lens, speaking not just for herself, but for every child who's been denied this basic right. I'm here to fight for my son's future. He deserves to go to school. He's just as worthy as any other child. The words hang in the air, full of raw emotion and truth. The crowd, who had been silently observing, suddenly erupts in support. It starts slowly, one voice joining the next, and soon the crowd is chanting together. The energy is palpable. People raise their fists in solidarity, shouting for justice. The pressure on the school mounts as the chants grow louder. The school administrators are caught off guard. The media storm is in full force, and there's no way to turn it off. The cameras follow every moment, capturing the determination in the mother's eyes and the strength of the community standing behind her. The story goes viral, spreading like wildfire. News outlets across the country pick up the story. What started as a small protest is now a national issue. The mother's bravery has become a symbol for so much more than just a school admission. Her fight has become a beacon for all those who have been pushed aside, marginalized, and ignored. The local news stations begin covering the story extensively. The images of the mother standing strong, with her son by her side and the community in support, become iconic. The cameras show the emotions of the crowd, the tension between the parents and the authorities, and the defiance in the mother's words. This is bigger than one school. This is about justice, equality, and opportunity for all our children. No more can we allow this system to keep them from achieving their dreams. Her words are resonating with people all over the country. What began as a simple act of defiance is now a movement. The national conversation shifts. The battle for equal access to education has moved from the shadows into the light, thanks to one courageous woman. The courtroom feels like a war zone. The weight of the fight has reached its peak, and the stakes could not be higher. The mother stands at the center of it all, her eyes full of determination. She's not just fighting for her son anymore. She's fighting for every black child who has ever faced the sting of injustice. The courtroom is packed with supporters, journalists, and families who have witnessed her journey unfold. They are all waiting for the moment that will change everything. The room is tense as the school board steps forward. Their argument is clear, though painfully outdated. The segregation policy is justified because it's tradition and standard. Their defense doesn't address the harm it has caused, nor the cruelty behind it. It's simply the way things have always been. As they speak, it's obvious that they see no problem in maintaining this division, in keeping black children out of these schools. Their stance is rooted in entitlement, an entitlement to keep things the way they are, even at the cost of denying opportunity and equal rights. When the mother stands to speak, the room falls into an expectant hush. Her voice is unwavering as she looks toward the judge, the school board, and the packed gallery of spectators. With her son beside her, she delivers a statement so powerful it sends ripples through the room. My son deserves to dream, to grow, to learn just like any other child. His dreams are no less important than the dreams of the children who sit in these halls. He has the right to education, to opportunity, to a future that is not defined by the color of his skin. The system that you built, that you defend, is one that tells him he's less than. But I will never accept that. I will fight until my last breath, not just for him, but for every child who is told they don't belong. Her words hit like a wave, full of emotion and raw honesty. In the silence that follows, you can hear the heartbeats of those in the courtroom. Her voice becomes the voice of every parent who has been forced to fight against an unjust system. It is a plea for justice that cannot be ignored. Just as the mother finishes her emotional speech, the defense attempts to brush her words aside. But then something unexpected happens. Surprising evidence comes to light. Leaked documents and testimonies from former teachers and administrators reveal that the school had a long history of discriminatory practices. The school's policies, far from being tradition, were actively designed to keep black children out. They had intentionally limited resources for black students and had actively discouraged their applications. This revelation sends shockwaves through the courtroom. The public outcry intensifies as this new evidence paints a clear picture of systemic racism. The tide begins to turn in favor of the mother and the children she is fighting for. After weeks of legal battles and public pressure, the judge steps forward. The courtroom holds its breath. With a firm voice, the judge delivers the final verdict. The school's segregation policies are deemed illegal. The policy that had kept black children from attending the school is struck down. The judge declares that these practices are discriminatory and go against the basic principles of equality and justice. The courtroom erupts in cheers. The mother's eyes well up with tears as she looks toward her son. This is not just a victory for them. It's a victory for every black child whose future had been stolen by these racist policies. The weight of the battle has finally lifted, replaced by the sweet taste of justice. In the final moments, the mother embraces her son tightly. The courtroom around them is filled with cheers, clapping, and emotional reactions. Her hands tremble as she holds her child, tears of joy streaming down her face. The long, painful fight has finally paid off, and it feels like the world has shifted. This is more than just a legal victory. It is a symbol of what can happen when people stand up, when they refuse to accept injustice. And as the cameras flash and the crowd cheers, the mother knows that this moment will change everything. The fight isn't over, but this is the first step toward a future where every child, regardless of their skin color, can dream without fear. The sun shines brightly over the school campus as a new day begins. A line of black children, led by the mother's son, walk proudly through the gates of the once exclusive school. There's a sense of triumph in the air as they take their first steps toward a future that was once denied to them. The cameras flash and the world watches as these children are no longer outcasts. They are now part of something bigger than themselves. The mother stands in the background, watching this historic moment unfold before her eyes. Her heart swells with pride as she watches her son walk with confidence, a symbol of the power of perseverance and change. The gates, once closed to children like him, are now wide open, welcoming them in with dignity and equality. The crowd of supporters cheers, but the mother's eyes are locked on her son. This is a victory that transcends personal success. It is a victory for every child who has ever been told they couldn't. The once defiant principal, who had refused to let black children enter the school, is now fired. The change is real. The institution that had once symbolized segregation now stands as a beacon of equality. The local news reports that the school has officially been integrated, and the policy that once divided children by the color of their skin has been abolished. This marks the beginning of a new era. The school administration has no choice but to adapt, and the community is forced to acknowledge that change is not only necessary, but possible. The power of public resistance and the will to fight for what's right has reshaped the future, showing that no battle is too big to win when people stand united. The final scene focuses on the mother. As she watches her son walk into the school, his head held high, she feels an overwhelming sense of peace. She whispers to him, "You just changed the world, baby." Her voice is soft, but the weight of her words carries the significance of everything they fought for. The camera lingers on her face, capturing the deep pride and satisfaction of a mother who fought for justice. Her fight wasn't just for her child, it was for every black child who would now walk through those gates. For every parent who will no longer have to explain to their children why they were denied an opportunity just because of the color of their skin. As the camera pulls away, we see the mother standing alone, yet empowered, as her son disappears into the school. The story has come full circle from the first moment of injustice to this moment of triumph. The camera lingers on her face, filled with quiet pride and peace, knowing that her battle was never just about one child. It was about creating a future where all children have the right to dream, to learn, and to become the people they were meant to be. As the camera slowly pans over the school's gates, a new wave of children from diverse backgrounds begin to walk through. They come from different races, ethnicities, and cultures, each child carrying their own hopes and dreams. Their paths are clear, paved by the mother's actions. The sound of footsteps echoes as they march forward with determination, their future now wide open, no longer restricted by outdated rules or racist policies. The school, now full of children of all colors, becomes a symbol of progress, a place where equality is no longer just a dream, but a reality. The camera lingers on the faces of the children as they enter, each one filled with hope. They walk toward the school building, the doors that were once locked now standing open, ready to welcome them. As the camera pulls away, the mother's voice echoes in the background, reminding us of the strength it took to create this moment. Every victory matters. It may be one step, but it's a step forward. We will fight until every door is open for every child. The cliffhanger is revealed. The fight for equality is far from over. There will always be challenges, more battles to face, more barriers to break, but now there's hope. This victory, no matter how hard fought, shines like a beacon, showing that change is possible. The camera fades out as the screen transitions to black, leaving the audience with the powerful thought that while this story may have ended, the movement continues. There are more battles to be won, but the victory in this moment gives a powerful sense of hope that the future will be brighter, more just, and full of possibilities for all. The message is clear. Equality is a journey, not a destination. And no matter the obstacles, hope will always lead the way.